I'd like to talk a little about the importance of our emotions. It's very important to understand our emotions because they tend to drive most of our behaviors. And we see in the world today, so much of what people do is driven largely by the way they feel about things. This can apply not just to an individual living in his or her own little apartment, but also at the highest levels of leadership in the world. If we can have better control over our emotions, over our ego, over our maybe feelings of revenge or anger, then we're able to make better decisions, both for ourselves and also for those around us. There's a very useful model for us to bear in mind as to the relationship between events which happen outside of us and emotions which happen inside of us. Now, one of the illusions that mostly we live under is that events, circumstances, situations, and people are responsible for my emotions. So, for example, a person may say, "You made me very angry," or "Because of what you said, I was very irritated or very upset. Because of a certain situation or an event, I'm in a bad mood." So we tend to say my inner state, my emotions, are a direct result of somebody's behavior or because of some event. However, this is in fact not true. It's not that emotions are created by events, but rather there's a step in between. First, something happens, an event takes place, and then very, very quickly comes step two, which is where my mind gives meaning to that event. We give meaning to events so quickly we don't even realize we are doing it. And then step three, which is just as fast, is the meaning I give to an event is then generating my emotions. And it's because it happens so quickly, event meaning emotion, event meaning emotion, what we think is happening is event is creating emotions. And when we live in that awareness that event creates emotions, we will always be a slave to events and will always point the finger outward as to why I may not be feeling so good. One of the first and simplest definitions of practical spirituality in life is I take responsibility for my thoughts and my emotions. And this model of event meaning emotion is telling us that let me pay more attention to the meaning I am choosing to give to the events. So we need to explore where meaning comes from. What is behind meaning? What are the components of meaning? And can I improve or upgrade the meaning I am giving to those events? Three main things contribute to meaning. One of those is our perspective. Another is our perception. And the third is the context within which I see a situation. So if we just take one of those, let's explore perspective for a moment and how by changing our perspective, we change the meaning we give to an event, and resultingly, we change our emotions. Let's say you have some situation in your life which you're finding challenging, you're finding difficult, but your mind labels it as a problem. So when you see something as a problem, this could generate within you anxiety, fear, worry, tension, and so on. But you can say to yourself, well, I choose not to see this as a problem, but I choose to see it as an obstacle. So I'm upgrading, raising my perspective. When you see something as a problem, you feel, oh dear, this has gone wrong. When you see it as an obstacle, you don't look at the situation, but rather you look at yourself and you ask yourself, how can I get over this? How can I find a way around this? So focus has shifted from fixing the outside to, first of all, paying attention to raising my own perspective. And as you continue to raise your perspective, the next stage, now you see the same situation or the same person as an opportunity. So here is an opportunity for me to apply my new learning. Here is a chance for me to put into practical life the virtues, the wisdom which I am working on. The next stage, as you raise the perspective even further, you see the same thing as a test. Now the test will come to you not to punish you, but to make you aware what I know and what I have yet to pay more attention to. So if we have this attitude, we are thankful for the tests which come, because it gives me a chance for self-assessment. Then the final stage, the fifth stage, is that same situation or person now becomes a gift to you. And a gift means your life has improved as a result. You gained something. A gift could be having passed through that whole situation. Now I see things very differently. It opened my eyes to the bigger picture of life. It helped me to understand my own self better. So in this way, raising our perspective of a difficult situation helps me to change the meaning I give to that situation or to the event, and correspondingly, my emotions are in my own hands. So simply put, let me realize I have the power to give meaning to the events which happen in my life, and therefore I have the power to be in control of my own emotions. Thank you.